to the Around the Kingdom marathon, 8 hours long.
That'd be crazy. All right, now just have to wait to see. All right, it's starting up on the stream. Okay. So I should it's live. Refresh if you don't see it. Okay. Do you see it? Do you need a link or it's up for you so you can get the chat?
I don't see it. I need the link.
Okay. Hey, everybody.
I'll probably be sneezing throughout the thing.
Okay, so there's a lot of people. Okay. Hey, Hudson, Lauren, the jerk. What's your name, the jerk? Woodwaski, Ricky, Xavier, Alexandra, Renata. I saw Kendra. Did I say hi to Kendra? Woodwaski says hi, Steve Squirrel.
Hello.
Allergies are driving people. Yes, Heather, that's what they said. I think they said it's mountain cedar is really wiry.
I see Stacy is in here. Hi, Stacy. She's a follower of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I got Iceland very late in event. Congrats on Iceland. Hi, Miss Mussy. Hi, Jacob. I'm Sar. Am I saying that right? Hi. Hopefully you guys can hear us well. We don't really have much control because it's Google Hangouts. It does what it wants.
Okay, let's see. Get my notes up here.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
I feel like we need one of those guys who warms the audience up, one of those people. What are they called? The crowd warmer uppers?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's not what it is. I popped out the chat, so it should be good. Hi, Mike Oliver, Disney Freak, Joanna Apple. How are you guys? Is everybody still in the event? I have a question. How can you switch your game progress? I think that's actually one of the questions to be answered.
It's from Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna like our answer for you.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Crowd pleaser.
Kendra, no, there is not a way to double screen. Unfortunately, that we have investigated that, and unless you have 3 or more people, you cannot double screen. Maybe next time we'll have a third person in there so we can all be up there. Maybe we should just have an imaginary third person.
That's what somebody suggested on that thing.
Yeah, I could put my 5-year-old baby there, and she'll just talk into the stream. Alexandra, why are you doing a live stream? Answer: why not?
We're recording the podcast live. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you
podcast.
Do I have the link? I might not have the links in the description. Let me edit.
All right. Let's see. Are we playing the game? No, we're doing a podcast, The Jerk. We are doing the Around the Kingdom Disney Magic Kingdoms podcast live. If you follow the show or you follow AGeekyChick, you will know that she is a regular guest and that we have a lot of fun. So we figured, let's go live. Okay. All right. So let me cue up my music here.
Wait, let me just post this in the description. All right. So it should be there in the description now.
Disney Freak, this is all about Wreck-It Ralph. This is about the whole what's been going on the last week in Disney Magic Kingdoms and what's to be coming. This is a podcast. Basically, it's like a whole bunch of videos put together into one. You just about ready?
Tell me when you're going to mute myself while you do the intro until I need to talk, so I don't cough in it.
All right, go ahead and mute yourself. You're going to watch the high-tech version of how I get the music here. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of Around the Kingdom, a Disney Magic Kingdoms podcast by a guy who is more of a beast than a beauty. Coming to you live from the dungeon of the Beast Castle, I am your host, Steve Squirrel, and joining me this week from Gaston's Pub, we have AGeekyChick. Say hi, everyone, AGeekyChick.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks as always for joining us this week as we explore the wonderful world of Disney Magic Kingdoms. We are so glad that you're all here. If you want to be more involved with the show, you can follow us on Twitter at ATKPodcast and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/ATKPodcast. Here you'll find out before anyone else any breaking news that we hear, information on contests and giveaways, when new shows are published, and of course, my ramblings and photos from my day-to-day playing. Listening to the show is all we could really ask for, but if you do want to support us in another way, you can check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/aroundthekingdom. Running a podcast does have some overhead, so this is a great way to show your support for about $1 an episode. The page was just put up, so we'll be adding some cool rewards to the tiers of support, but for now, you'll get a special shout out at the beginning of every episode. Again, it's patreon.com/aroundthekingdom. The link will be in the show notes. And as you all know, the kingdom's always changing. So for reference, this show is being recorded live Wednesday, December 12th at around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So now that we got all that stuff out of the way for our intro, it's time to go into our weeks in the kingdom. So not really talking about the event stuff right now because we're going to be getting into that a lot in a few minutes. But has anything been going on for you this week in the kingdom?
I feel like I'm a repeating record, but I'm still working on Tia and Michael. For Tia, I have everything except for 9 of her heart lockets, so I'll have her pretty soon. Michael, I'm kind of like halfway there. I need about 20 more of the teddy bears and just 1 more of his ears. And I've been working on currency. I am back up to 1 million, so now I don't feel so desperate and broke anymore in magic potions.
No, I totally get that. I am also still working on Tia. That seems like it's going to be a very, very long task. So we'll just keep at the grind. And I'm also still waiting to welcome Mowgli as well. He is ready to go, but I'm not pulling the trigger until this event is over. So I have that ready to go. So at least I'll have some fun new content coming at me as soon as the event is over. Speaking about fun new content, as everyone knows, the Beauty and the Beast chests were just put back out yesterday with the beginning of the most recent chapter, Chapter 4 of this event. So last night, I spent some time with my daughter. We opened up some Beauty and the Beast chests, finally completed my collection. So now I have a lot of level 1 characters with a lot of level 1 quests. So that will be a lot of fun, too, to start tackling when the event is over as well.
Congrats on getting the Beauty and the Beast characters.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. She really enjoys it. She kind of freaks out when she hears like the epic or the legendary sound. So it was a real fun time. You know, opening chests is always a good time. All right, yeah. So that's about it. For my non-event stuff, there's not a whole lot going on in that. And my weekly update of my lifetime visitors board, I'm up to rank 214,130. So I'm looking forward to breaking it through the 200,000 barrier. sometime. It'd probably take me about another 2 or 3 weeks at this pace. So kind of exciting. So that's pretty much it for the week in Kingdom. We'll be talking a lot more about the stuff that we did in the Kingdom in the Wreck-It Ralph section of the podcast, which is coming up very, very soon. But I'd like to move into our next segment, which is the newcomer tip of the week. And a lot of times I ask my guests now recently to talk about something, but this week I really wanted to bring up something that I thought would be a great tip for everyone out there. So one of the things we had talked about previously was preparing for the events. And I had talked about there's a woman named Teal. She's in the Disney Magic Kingdom's game Facebook page. She's in there all the time. And she has an awesome guide for like who to kind of have ready to go at the beginning of an event, because those are the characters that might be, are traditionally been ones that collect event currency, right? So how to get a good jump start on event currency. So I wanted to talk about also like mid-event and, going through an event and preparing as well. So specifically with this last set of unlocks, and I know it's a little late for this event, but it's just something to keep in mind for future events, that we were able to, now that we already had 2 characters of reference, but you could even have just used the first character the first time. For the comfy fabrics, there was glitched fabric and comfy fabric. So we knew that glitched fabric would be repeated. It's been a staple for all 3 of the princesses. So what we really tried to do was take a look and see like who was going to possibly be having the glitched fabric. So in this case, for example, Calhoun had the Check for Trouble task, and Mickey in the pirate costume had Dance a Jig. And for all the different glitch fabrics, they always had that task. So doing that task and having it ready to go as soon as unlock time came would net you quicker results and get you those glitch fabrics faster. Same thing with the comfy fabric. The Cinderella's relaxing task was one of the tasks that you got Jasmine's comfy fabric from. So, having that task prepped and ready so that once unlock came, it turned out to be a benefit this time because it did also work for Belle's comfy fabric. So it's just things like that to kind of have things prepared for unlocks and knowing when those unlocks are going to be, which you can always do by going into the event menu. They'll show you whenever the next things are about to be unlocked, and try to have your tasks prepped because it really gives you a big jump start. I had a jump start on Belle's costume by having 3 glitched fabric and 1 of the comfy fabric right off the bat. So it was awesome. And yeah. So that's just kind of what I wanted to say. If you have any more questions about that, definitely hit us up at ATK Podcast. Write your questions in the chat right now if you have any other questions. I'm sorry?
Good for prep.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was able to have each character that was able to collect the things for Belle. Like I had got them all right, basically. And so it was really good to have all of them already ready right when she became available.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just, it really gives you a big jump start especially when you have these long events or when people are feeling crunched for time. There's a lot of talk about how there's a lot of stuff to do in the next 10 days. So if you want to really get a jump start and take some of that pressure off, this is one of the ways to do it. On my Twitter account, I was posting all these little hints. So make sure you follow us and AGeekyChick as well. And, she's always retweeting and we're always going back and forth about this. So make sure you follow us there to get all of this breaking information. But all right, that's it for the newcomer tip of the week. So now we're going to go into the game news. So since the last episode, Wreck-It Ralph, the event of Chapter 3 began with Shank. Shank finally unlocked. And to welcome her, you needed 15 Wi-Fi tokens, 20 gloves, and 15 ears. And they were super easy to get.
Yeah.
They were just uncommons. So, I mean, did you just fly right through that?
Yeah, well, I didn't fly, right? I think it took me 2 days, which is a lot better than uh, what was it? Yes, where I was stuck for so long, even just to level up. Yes, but it was really refreshing that her tokens dropped so easily.
Yeah. No, I was very, very relieved to see 2 uncommons. I was very surprised actually, but I guess they just kind of wanted to make sure you kind of got through it. And yeah, it was nice. And then when you did welcome her, you got 12 bonus gems for completing that part of the set. So it was nice to get a nice little bonus as well. At the same time, the Fix-It Felix bundle became available. And the Fix-It Felix bundle was Felix plus the giant cherry stand for $5.99 US dollars. And Felix was available by himself for 300 gems, right? It was 300. Yes.
Yeah.
At the time, this was the only way to get the giant cherry stand. So AGeekyChick and I were talking about that. And what did you end up doing?
I bought the bundle. I did.
Yeah, that cherry stand is really, really cute, and I wanted it too. So I bought the bundle as well. I had the gems put aside, but I'll save that for next time. However, for the people that didn't buy the bundle, the giant cherry stand is now available in the shop for 60 gems, just like the other premium gem concession stands cost. So you can get it there as well. So at this point, you had Shank and you had Felix, if you got Felix. And then Shank and Ralph went on some quests to look for Vanellope. They realized after a while of looking back and forth, they should probably look for her. Where do you think?
You really slaughter race? Oh, like on one of my last videos, I said slaughterhouse. That's so horrible.
Yeah, no, it's not the slaughter. Well, it could be a slaughterhouse, that's for sure. But slaughter race it was where they decided to look, but we did not have that in our kingdoms yet. So slaughter race was able to be brought into the kingdom. It required 13,500 event currency. It took 8 hours to build, and it did require Shank to be at level 3. So was that an easy build for you? Did you have troubles getting Shank up? You know, what was your slaughter race experience like?
No, that went really well. I already had Shank at 2 by the time I was up for slaughter race, and I just had to get like maybe 1 or 2 tokens, and that dropped really quick. I think was it Fix It Felix has like a 2-hour quest, so that kind of helps, right? I think so for her token, so that made it a lot easier.
Yeah, it was super easy. Like I said, Shank's tokens were they were like a gift from Gameloft, basically.
It really was, because usually at this point in events, it's so hard, but to have something that just went by as if you're in the beginning of the event was nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It didn't take long to get Shank up to 3. It took longer to get Yes to 2 to get the internet built than it did to get Shank to 3. And at this point in the event, 13,500 event currency did not seem like a whole lot. You know, I have a lot of the event currency like helpers, but even my friends who don't have a lot of the extra characters to collect are still very abundant in event currency this event. So it didn't seem like that was a dent on anyone either. So after that, there were just some more quests for a little while, and then we were able to get the Welcome Bell quest. So if you already had Bell, then basically this was the end of the chapter for you. If you did not have Bell, like myself, for example, you were able to get Bell for 5 of each of her tokens, and then 2,000 EC. The interesting thing, like I said, is that there was no Beauty and the Beast legendary chests at this time. The only way to get Belle if you didn't have her was to earn it, which you eventually could get her once the new chapter unlocked. But it was interesting that they didn't take advantage of that like 3 to 4 days, because there were a lot of people hitting me up on Twitter, on Facebook, saying like, where are the Beauty and the Beast chests? You know, I just want to get Belle. I want to get the other characters. I want to have them ready for the next chapter.
Yeah, that is a little strange. an opportunity missed, I guess.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was the end of chapter 3. So let's just kind of stop there for a minute, AGeekyChick, and kind of talk about our experience there and just how we liked that whole segment of the event.
I like the pacing. I mean, like I said, it still took me a couple of days to get Shank, but I was done. I think I had 18 hours earlier, but it was still good. I think it was good. A lot of people could get that break that they needed to collect Wi-Fi tokens and currency to get ready for the next chapter. So that was really nice. It was definitely a different pacing than previous events, but I liked it just because this has so much that I'm glad that it wasn't really, because I was frustrated with the S. Like when that was happening, like I was trying not to panic, but I'm like, if yes was an indication of how the rest of the event was going to go, I was like, I'm not going to finish this.
Yeah, no, I agree. One of my biggest concerns that I pointed out at the beginning of the event after chapter 1 was I was like, this is a long event. And there was so much time left. There was like 20 something days left. And I was like, how are you going to keep up with just these few characters and stuff? Like how are you going to keep up with the awesomeness of this first chapter? And I feel like they've just really done a great job with pacing. Now, if I already had Belle, she took up the last like 2+ days of my time. So there would have been a 2-day lull. But usually, typically, there's like a 2-day lull between segments of events anyway. So I don't find that too out of the ordinary. But no, the pacing's been really good. I think there's just so much content that it just keeps you going. And you have to keep doing stuff. And it's hard to level characters and do other things because you're just so focused on the event. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. Again, I really think that Gameloft hit it out of the park with this event so far, and yeah,
I do too. Like I'm not overwhelmed. Like it seemed like I would be when we saw like, what is it, 4 costumes that we have to get, and you're like, usually the costumes are always like, panic mode at the end of an event. And I don't know, the pacing has been really good. I've even though it's a lot and it's go, especially with the mini events, it hasn't been overwhelming, at least not for me yet,
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's really been fun. They've taken a lot of really fun elements and characters and just done a really great job with it. The storyline is really fun.
Oh yeah, the little stuff that they're saying is really fun. I like that.
It's a fun storyline. I don't have I know that the Aladdin side story was a repeat, but I never did it before, so it was fun for me. I don't know about Beauty and the Beast. The storyline so far, it's about Romeo and Juliet being missing from the bookshelf, and I'm finding it a lot of fun so far doing this side quest. So even the side stuff is just fun, and it just keeps you busy. It's more ways to just keep you engaged and interacting with the event, and I'm just very happy with it. I think that Gameloft put a lot of time and effort and focus into this event, and they've really set the bar to a higher level. So they better keep up with it. You know what I mean? Because they can't lower the bar again. We're going to want this and better and better and better and better every time. So,
oh yeah, but I mean, with the event this packed, I'm like, hopefully we get more than just our few weeks in between.
Well, we'll see. We definitely need a break. I mean, I know after events, I feel a little burnt out too. So we'll talk about that coming up at the end of the show. We have some questions about that. So then let's move on now to Chapter 4. Chapter 4 began yesterday, which was Tuesday of this week. And it started out, if you were done with Chapter 3, with the quest to get Belle's comfy outfit. To get it, it's required 15 Wi-Fi tokens, 20 glitched fabric, which is still uncommon and easy to get, and then 10 Belle comfy fabric, which was epic. I called it. If you've listened to the show, I called it. I said it's very interesting that it went from uncommon fabric for Cinderella to rare for Jasmine. So I said Belle's is going to be epic. And I'm telling you right now, and I said it before, Ariel's will be legendary fabric. It will probably be something... well, no, it won't look like the scales because her scales were legendary in the Little Mermaid event, but she will have the legendary fabric. I'm guaranteeing it. Maybe it'll only be 5, but they will be legendary. So at this point, you get Belle's comfy outfit. I just completed that today. Now I start to send the princesses out to do some stuff to get ready to fight the virus. That's where I'm at. So I'm just kind of getting everyone prepped. So that's where I'm at. What about you? How have you been holding up, AGeekyChick, with Chapter 4?
I think we're at the same part. I got the costume for Belle, and I'm finishing up the 8-hour quest that the princesses have to do. But for an epic token, I felt like Belle's costume was not hard at all. Like, I almost always had a drop for the fabric. Like, I never went like for other things like with none. Like, I think, was it Jasmine's? I felt like it was a little bit more difficult. Was it Jasmine's? Yeah, this one wasn't that bad. Yeah. And Cinderella's too, but I don't know. I don't know if I just finally ended up on the right side of the luck and the odds. But I mean, I saw some people posting, they got it really quick. They zoomed through. I mean, there's people done with the event already, but I'm happy with the pacing. I'm happy with how quickly I got Belle's costume.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was good. There is definitely people still struggling with the fabrics. I definitely got some lucky drops because like there were times when like 3 of my 4, like my 4 were ready and like 3 of the 4 dropped, and I was just like, you know, I should go to Atlantic City right now and play some slots or something because I'm really, really lucky. But so what do we have left? We have just a few things, and we have about 8.5 days or so from the time we're recording this to do it. And that is, if you haven't already collected Belle's comfy costume, then do that. When that's done, you send some princesses out for some quests, and then there'll be the Welcome Vanellope segment, and I'm not quite sure how that goes. I'm trying to stay as spoiler-free as possible. So the Welcome Vanellope happens, and then Welcome Ariel. If you don't have her already, you can go, and I assume that it will just be like the other princesses where you'll get 5 of each for token, pay some EC. And then get Ariel's comfy costume. And that's it. That's the end of the event. So, you know, there's a lot to do in just a few days. So, you know, it will be fun. It will always be, you know, a grind to the end. And it will be, you know, it's just a really cool event. I'm really happy for it. Now, one thing I definitely want to point out, though, is there are people done with the event, or at least very far ahead. And there are some people that claim that they haven't even gemmed. So someone was on Vanellope this morning, and they said that they hadn't gemmed. So I did some rough math, and the fastest possible way with 100% drop rate, okay, meaning you got your token every time, and you had everyone pre-prepped for at unlock time, and you specifically strategized how each character would go out, it would take a minimum of 16 hours to collect Belle's outfit, okay, from the time of launch. And then it would take another 8 hours to do her quest. So that would be 24 hours that it would take just to get to the point where you would even start to get to Vanellope. So if you want to say you didn't gem, do your math first. That's all I got to say, right?
Yeah. I don't even know what the point of... I mean, clearly they have used gems, and just for people listening, don't get caught up in people who are finishing. Don't cause... I mean, it's causing other people to panic.
Yes.
By them not being transparent with what they've done, you know, that they've used gems. There's nothing wrong with using gems, you know, but to tell people... It makes other people feel like they're behind because they're like, oh, they didn't even use gems and they're already done. I'm not even close and I'm not going to finish. But don't panic. Don't let other people's pace make you afraid that you're not going to finish or you're not where you should be.
I couldn't have said it better. There's so many panic threads on Facebook and even on the Around the Kingdom Twitter and Facebook where people are like, I just don't think I'm going to make it, and people are just starting to panic. And I think a lot of the panic comes from these people who gem their way through, and then they're like, yeah, I didn't do anything, and people like, I'm so far behind. And I'm like, you're totally on pace. You're exactly where you should be. We're right together. Now, listen, there's nothing wrong with gemming. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. I gem sometimes, like tonight, for example, I'll be 2 hours short of Belle's task to finish that up tonight. So I'm going to gem the last 2 hours so that I could start the next thing. No problem with that. And if you just want someone that wants to gem to just do things like that, that's cool. I just don't see the point in gemming the whole event the day that things unlock. Like, now what do you do for the next 8 days? Right? Like, I just doesn't make any sense to me.
No, unless, like, I understand people who are writing guides, they're running groups, so they're letting people know what's to come, because there's a lot of people who, they do that, and it helps knowing what's to come. But other than that, you're just sitting there if you finish. There's no prize for finishing first. But for some people, I could understand it's the holidays. So maybe the prize is having more time to focus on other things.
Sure. Well, all good points. But regardless, have fun. Don't stress about other people. Play the game at your own pace and just have a good time, because that's what Disney Magic Kingdoms is all about, right? Okay, well, so good luck to everyone with the rest of the event. Next week, we will be coming back. It will be right at the eve of the end of the event. So my special guest will be on with me next week, and we will be wrapping up the whole event and see where we're at and see if there is a mad gem dash at the end where we're going to have to get stuff, because that you never know, that might have to happen. All right, so now let's talk about the events of the week. We had a couple of different mini events. The first one was the Storm Clouds event, which was another repeat, which was to tap the clouds, 2 days long. The Storm Clouds respond in groups of 8 every 2 hours for a whopping total of 192 clouds as the maximum. I waited a little bit to try to see if I could get past the leaderboards and see if I could get onto an easier leaderboard, and I accidentally tapped a cloud.
Oh.
I'm just the worst at avoiding these things. So I fought really hard. I tried to tap as much as I could, but I wound up rank 6. Wah, wah.
Oh, that's like right there. Oh,
yeah. And I think, it's funny because I was going back and forth with the rank 5 guy, and I think that the rank 5 guy actually didn't he had enough where he locked rank 5 in place, but if he kept going, I couldn't have gotten into rank 5, and I think he stopped to let me get in, but I just missed. I got busy with work and I missed it. So anyway, I did not get the 2 radiant chests. I got the 1 radiant chest in the 650 EC. How did you do? Did you make top 5?
I don't think so. I'm so confused because we've done it so many times now. The first couple of times I ranked in the top, but I think this time I don't. I think I was just top 50 or something. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, a lot less work than I had to do to get the same exact reward. Awesome.
Yeah, and I finally got a different. I got the Hero's Duty arcade.
Oh,
so yeah, I'm only missing Sugar Rush.
That's what I need. I need Hero's Duty. Why did you avoid me, Hero's Duty?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping that they just let us buy some radiant chests with gems at the end.
Yeah, that would be nice. I hope so. But I think the Hero's Duty is the epic of the 3, right? Because Fix-A-Felix Arcade is the common. It's just a 1-star common, and then I'm pretty sure Sugar Rush is the 2-star uncommon, and I think that the Hero's Duty is the epic.
Oh wow! I have 4.
At least the rare. Yeah, Fix It Felix is the common. So anyway, that was the event. So that's how that went. After that was over, we had a 1-day break, and of course, the next mini event began, which was Striking Gold. And Striking Gold is, of course, what we all like to call the trophy event. So I tried my strategy again, but it was a lot easier this time because I was actually not feeling good. So at 10 o'clock, when the unlock, the new day began, I went to sleep and took a nap because it was the weekend. I woke up and it was about maybe 1 o'clock. I had a nice rest, and then I just didn't touch the game. I decided I just was gonna let it go. Actually, I was collecting characters and collecting stuff, and I was like, I'm just gonna hold off. And I waited 6 hours. At 5 o'clock, I picked up the game and I tapped my first trophy, and I got onto a leaderboard that was still competitive, but not as crazy with literally the gemmers who gem their trophies, where that they've gemmed because they have 875 trophies, and that's just impossible.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I actually got rank 2 with 445 trophies. I was going back and forth with the rank 1 person, and I was holding rank 1 for a while, but once again, I got stuck with some work stuff to do and missed out on the last hour. So it was nice, though. I got my second Wreck-It Ralph trophy. I got the 3000 EC and the 20 bonus gems. So that was nice. How did you do on that one?
Since I had got the trophy last time, I ranked 1 the first time around. This time I didn't even. Yeah, I know. 1. It was. I woke up and then I hate to do that, but for this one I didn't even try because I don't need 2 trophies. So I play somewhere where all you get is currency.
Okay.
I don't even know what that was, but I don't even remember how much I got.
Yeah, no, I didn't need the second Wreck-It Ralph trophy at all, but I really wanted to just to try to get top 10. It was just an achievement I really wanted to get for myself. But yeah, no, I get it. And so rank 1 through 10 got the 3000 Wreck-It Ralph trophy and 20 gems. 11 through 50 got 2500 EC and a Wreck-It Ralph trophy, and then it was just EC for the rest of the board. So now there is a new Tapper event that started, and it will be over tomorrow. And it's one I've never done before. It's just another Tapper, but it's a Beauty and the Beast inspired Tapper called Silver Beware. And the silverware are spawned in groups of 8 every 2 hours for, once again, a total of 192. So instead of clouds, it's cute little plates and forks and spoons. So I decided I just wasn't going to even try on this one. I wasn't going to wait. I just let it be. So I'm hoping that I'll just get a radiant chest and some EC out of this. What about you? Are you working on this one?
No, I'm collecting them. I was doing well. Not trying, but when I would log in to do other things, I would collect them. But then one time I couldn't find the 8th one, and I was just whatever. I think I'm in top 50 without trying, but I don't really care if I get dropped as long as what does it have to be whatever the top is to get the radiant chest. Because if you're not in the top, 5 to get the 2 radiant chests, then there's really not much of a difference unless you're hurting for currency, which like you said earlier, nobody really is this time around.
Yeah, no, the currency is not an issue for me. Earlier on in the event, I was talking to one of my friends, and basically I was saying that, especially for the trophy events, that mathematically speaking, sending people like Buzz out for the 1 hour trophy event would net you way more event currency than sending him out for actual event currency tasks, because if you get a higher rank you're going to get a lot more event currency than that 1 or 2 or 3 characters would have got you over the course of 2 days. So
yeah, that's a good thing to point out.
Yeah, so that's definitely a way to go about that. There were a few people that did that, but there were a lot of event currency helpers too that were on 1 hour timers as well. But yeah, at this point, event currency really is not much of a factor for me. I'm actually going to start if I have time at the end, I'm going to level as many princesses as I can using the event currency so that I don't have to waste magic on them. Because I think magic's harder to come by than gems sometimes, especially when I'm still trying to buy land. Because land is just,
yeah, I agree.
Land is just so expensive.
Yeah, especially with this last piece of land costing, was it 3 million? I think I agree that it might be more valuable to use currency to level up instead of doing saving up. You know how people save up for the gem conversion. But I'm pretty sure you'll, well, I don't know. Maybe we should talk about that now in this one, huh? Because your next podcast event will be over or no?
No, there'll be a 1 day left, but if you want to talk about it, go ahead.
Well, just how, what is it? Up to, you can get up to 40, was it 40 gems?
Right.
For, and so it's 80,000 currency will equal 40 gems. And a lot of people, that's like a big thing for them in the events to make sure they have that 40,000 or whatever to get the gems at the end. But with magic being such an issue, you might want to think about leveling up characters instead of, unless you just really need the gems. Like if that was going to be the difference between you getting Felix or somebody.
Right. As a newcomer, when I had barely any gems, I remember people saying like, I'm not going to spend any EC until I get my 80,000 EC, and then anything after that I'll spend, because they wanted those 40 gems so badly. And for me, like I knew I was only going to get I only had like 10,000 EC left over. So I was like, it's 5 gems. What's 5 gems going to do for me, right? I could get that off of 1 parade. I'd rather use that 10,000 event currency and get some of my characters up, because magic's really hard to come by, especially earlier in the game. Like I remember every night I would go on my phone, I would do my 2 gem ads on Main Street, and then I would go to the magic section and I would watch, like, I think you can do like 8 ads to get whatever magic they'll give you based on your level. So I was watching all 8 every single night just to try to get that extra magic, so that I had an extra chance to, I looked at it like, okay, well, if I do this for a couple of nights, it's basically paying for me to level somebody up. And, so magic's hard to come by. So if you can use your event currency, I say use it. If you really need 40 gems that badly, spend $1.99. Go get your 40 gems, because if you look at how much magic costs when you do like the gems to magic, equivalent and all that stuff, magic's a lot more expensive than gems. So spend your $1.99, get your 40 gems, and spend all your event currency leveling up your princesses. That's just my personal suggestion. And if you can get the best of both worlds, great. But that's how I would use my money, especially if I was a newcomer. Okay, so that is it for the mini event segment. We are now going to go into our next segment, which is it worth it? This is a segment where we talk about the premium gem characters and attractions throughout the game, and whether or not those characters would be worth it to someone who wants to have just about everything, or we primarily try to focus on a player who has a very limited budget and can only purchase a couple of things, maybe here or there. So we want to focus on, is the character worth it compared to other premium characters that might, be of equivalent money or gem value, etc. So we talked last week about Jack Sparrow. And we talked about, and if you haven't listened to the show and you're just tuning in for the first time on YouTube today, we've talked about Pluto, we've talked about Rex, we've talked about Boo. So today, we're trying to stick in chronological order. Today is Maximus. And Maximus cost 575 gems. Woo! That is a lot of gems.
That is a lot.
Yeah, when I first saw that as a new player, I remember seeing Jack Sparrow at 450 and thinking like that was just never going to happen. But at 575 is daunting, absolutely daunting of an amount of gems to have. And I honestly, seriously think that number should be adjusted, because if you look at some of the other premium characters and how much they cost, Maximus should not be higher than those characters based on what he does. But anyway, you can get him for 575 gems, or Maximus plus 150 gems for $9.99. And $9.99 seems to be the standard price for the premium character bundles. So when I got to Maximus, I did purchase the bundle. I was trying to be a collector and basically get everything I could. I also enjoyed the fact that I got my character and I got bonus gems with it. So that was one way for me to start building up gems to be able to buy parade floats and be able to buy parade float slots and things like that. So Maximus does the following things. He collects for Rapunzel, Flynn, Mother Gothel, Flora, and Prince Philip. One of the big things that people talk about for Maximus is that he does help in the Mother Gothel event that occurs. I won't specifically say what that is because I don't want spoilers for anyone who hasn't gotten to that point, but let's just call it the event. So he's a very, very big help on that. But the only way that he helps is saving time. Without him, you'd still be able to do everything. You just wouldn't have the time. It would just take more time, I should say. He also does have some very, very cute tasks that he does with cute animations. The swordplay one is one of my favorite ones that he does with Flynn. I love watching them around the kingdom doing that. Maximus also helped out in the Last Tower Challenge. Rapunzel was part of the Last Tower Challenge. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was the first time Rapunzel was used in Tower Challenge. Is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah. So he did help out in the last Tower Challenge, but who knows where they'll be. So here is the biggest con for Maximus. He has no solo quests that are longer than 4 hours. So when you're not collecting tokens with him, he can only go on 4-hour quests, unless you put him with somebody to do another quest just because it looks cool or whatever. But if you're looking at like a magic per hour, cost, like benefit analysis. Okay, I know I'm breaking down this game a little too much, but you get a lot more for doing the same length of quest for characters individually than for a joint quest. So there's no benefit to you doing a joint quest with, a 6-hour or an 8-hour joint quest with Flynn or Rapunzel, because you're getting less magic and you're not getting a token. So his usefulness wears off pretty quickly. When you're done with Rapunzel and Flynn, and you kind of have gotten through this, he loses his usefulness pretty quickly. I will say that he is probably, I have yet to send somebody home, and he is about to be the first person I send home.
Poor Maximus.
Rest in peace, Maximus. But really, because I find it so annoying that I have to just keep sending on 4-hour quests. At nighttime, I have to send him on a 4-hour quest. He doesn't go out for 6. He doesn't go out for 8. So I just feel like he's just an extra click I just don't need at this point.
No, I agree.
Okay, so tell me, what's your thoughts on Maximus when you first encountered him, and everything else about that?
Well, I had to go back. I just went back and looked it up while I was listening, and I got him in. It was like in 2016, but I did the bundle then, so I didn't spend all the gems. I was looking, I didn't even have it. I only had like 400, so I had no choice but to do the bundle. But every time I come across, I'm like, my Maximus is only level 4. And it has not affected me at all. He hasn't needed to be leveled up. I think he's just one of those characters. And there's a few characters in the game that they're just forgotten. They don't really do much. You don't really even need to level up unless you just want to level up everybody. They don't really come back and help with anything. And it's mainly storyline characters that you see that happen to. But no, probably not worth it unless you're just a collector, I think.
Yeah, Maximus is actually my Maximus amazingly is at level 8.
Oh wow.
But his stuff is so easy to get because he's like, you just need like his he gets apples and ears, right? And it's only like one per level, right? So like you only need like 4 ears and 4 apples to like get into the next level. It's like it seemed like he was very, very quick to level. But he's expensive. He's not cheap to level. Like, he's 8,000 magic, 10,000 magic, which adds up, if especially at these younger parts of the game, not younger, but earlier parts of the game where, like we were saying, magic's a very, very valuable commodity. So I would agree with you. I feel like he is not worth it, especially compared to, so now like we're moving past Pluto and Rex, right? Like they're the early game ones. We know how valuable they are. But when you want to compare him to a Jack Sparrow, for example, or in this caliber of premium characters, I would say hold off on Maximus. If you're just trying, if you're conservative with your money, you only have so much money to spend, or gems. I mean, the amount of gems, I would never spend it, but I would never spend 575 over getting the bundle. That's just it's a lot of gems. That I really, like, again, I think that number should be adjusted down to like 450, or even less. But needless to be said, I think that he's a cool character. I think that if you're a collector, definitely grab him. But I probably didn't need to tell you that because you probably grabbed him already. But so he's fun, but not super useful. All right. So that is it for Is It Worth It? If you have any questions or comments about that, let us know. And as always, if you have anything to say, please hit us up on Twitter at @ATKPodcast or Facebook.com/ATKPodcast. And you can always write in to the show at aroundthekingdompodcast@gmail.com. All right. Our next segment is the Feature Report. Feature Report. Feature Report. Feature Report. Feature Report is a segment where we talk about ideas or features we'd like to see implemented in the game from around the community. So we have 2 this week. One is actually a leftover question from the podcast that I did with Disney Girl last week. And I loved the question so much, I wanted to turn it into a Feature Report question. And so we'll get to that in a minute. But the first one is from Allison. And Allison says, I'd like to see a feature where we could still be able to see the completed tasks on the in the busy characters menu. Once they're done with a task, they're not in that list anymore, and you cannot see which task you've sent them on. I totally agree. I think that would be an awesome feature. Especially for example, with prepping your characters, like we were talking about, like you want to make sure, like you're like, oh wait, did I send them on this quest or that quest, or what did I do? And then they're not on that list anymore. You have no way, once the checkbox is over their head, to know what quest you sent them on or what task. So I think that's a great idea. What do you think?
Yeah, it is. I had noticed that during the event because I use that a lot during events to see how much longer I have for everybody. And then if they're done, you don't even see them. And then, how different things, like the characters, when they're finished, it is in a certain area and order. And you don't want to have to now I have to click through everybody to see. And yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. So I think that it's a really, really valuable tool that doesn't maybe get enough attention. One of the things I thought is maybe you could leave it the current way that it is for like newer players, to kind of just see like who's busy specifically, like an out. But maybe have a checkbox that advanced players or players who need more information could check, and then it would show you every character that was out with completed events. You know what I mean? So you're just expanding that. I understand that a lot of the reasons that UI features are done is to really make the user experience easy for beginner players. So I don't want to take that experience away from a newer player, but I think that it's important to add in some advanced features for people in the game. All right, so thank you, Allison. I really like that idea. So hopefully one day we'll see that implemented. Now, the next feature is from Aiden. And Aiden says, what do you think of a gifting system? So AGeekyChick, take it away. I want to get your initial thoughts on what do you think about a gifting system?
I guess, and there's not much detail on what he's saying. Like, what does he want to be gifted? Does he want gems to be gifted? Items to be gifted? I could see them doing magic. A lot of mobile games have it where you can go on your friends list and you can click help, or you can click, send gift. And it's like, a set amount, what it would be like 100 magic or something to each friend daily. And maybe you can only do so many friends. I think it would work, especially, they took away, we don't have any interaction with each other anymore as far as friends list and visiting friends. So I wish they would bring something back. And I think that would be a fun way. Before, you could just go to you could visit your friends and tap a couple of rides and get a few magic potions. But that would be nice if you could just go through your friends list and click send. My only thing with friends list is right now it's always like tied up to Facebook and different things, and that makes it a little more complicated, I guess.
Yeah, I only use Game Center. I don't use Facebook, but I tried to connect to both at the same time, and it was definitely a little glitchy. So I don't recommend that. But one of the things I remember seeing, and I don't see it now, it says to play with your friends, and I'm looking at it now, and I don't see it anymore. But there was that feature, like you said a while ago, where it said that you could like see your friends' kingdoms, and I wasn't around for that. And what I've heard through the grapevine is just basically like they were saying it either wasn't used or it was too hard to keep developing or whatever. But I think that that's definitely a component missing in this game. One of the things that people love about this game is being able to show their kingdom. How do you have it designed? How do you have it laid out? How do you have like what trophies do you have, right? Like, do your friends can look around your kingdom and be like, oh, he has the Wreck-It Ralph gold trophy. That's awesome. Or, whatever things, and so it's kind of just your way to show all your accomplishments off. And the only way to do that is screenshots, videos, and other social media platforms, which is fine. But I'd like to see interaction between players, having a friends list, being able to connect. So as far as a gifting system, I think it's good. I think that it would just increase revenue. Like if you want to talk about gifting someone magic or even some gems, that's one thing. But like I was thinking more of like, could you just purchase a Beauty and the Beast legendary chest pack and give it to your friend? So like when I'm feeling in a good mood, AGeekyChick, you log into the game and says, Steve Squirrel has sent you Beauty and the Beast legendary chest pack, and boom, there you go. You have 6 legendary chests to open.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that would be cool. Like even especially for like birthdays and holidays and all these things where people are just buying gift cards, right? So how do you pay for Disney Magic Kingdom stuff? You get an iTunes gift card, or you're paying through iTunes, Android, Windows. So they're all getting a cut of that, right? So if Disney Magic Kingdoms did it internally in the game, then there would be no profit sharing. They would just have 100% of that money, right? So financially speaking, it makes sense for them to do that as an internal type of thing. I don't know if they want to have to support that. I don't know why they don't do it. I think it would be a fantastic idea. I think it would make Gameloft a lot of money. And I think that it would really enhance the user experience, because it would be cool to like log in and see like that your friend did that. Or it would also help out when you're trying to get someone into the game and they're really far behind and they see that Maximus now costs 575 gems and they have 40. Maybe you could throw them 100 gems or, something like that. And, I just think it would be a great idea. I think it's a great idea. That's all I'm going to say about that. I've said it about 20 times. So anyway, anything else you want to say about that, about the gifting system or any other things there?
No, I agree. We're missing the multiplayer interaction, the social community part, besides just competing against random names on the leaderboard. And I think the gifting is a good feature that could be associated with, friends list coming back.
Yep. Cool. Well, if you have a feature you'd like to see implemented, please write to us using any of our various social media platforms and let us know. Your idea could be on next week's show. Okay, so we're kind of getting close to the end here. This next feature is called Around the Community. It's a place to highlight some awesome stuff from Disney Magic Kingdom's fans. So today we just have a few community questions. So AGeekyChick has asked a bunch of people for some questions, and a lot of people had one similar question. So I'm not going to say who it's from because it's from a lot of people. And the question is, this is for you, AGeekyChick, to answer. Do you think there is too much content in 10 days' time for the final leg of this event? There's 2 costumes, welcoming Vanellope, and doing all the other content in that. And plus, if you're not even caught up to date, what do you think about the amount of time left and the content?
I feel like it's too early for me to say if it's too much because I'm on pace right now. Like I don't feel behind, but I know that sometimes that can change with just bad luck and drops. It is a lot. I feel like in the beginning, like I said, I was worried with needing so many costumes, knowing that we're going to have to collect fabric for them. Belle went by quickly for me. I think it's a lot of stuff for people who aren't on pace. Like if you weren't already ready to start collecting Belle's tokens, then I think it's going to be a lot. Especially I think if you're still back at like, yes, trying to collect her, I think it's a lot. Even back to Shane, because you still think you still have to build the slaughter race. I think that if you're not on pace, but I think 10 days should be enough time to do 2 costumes of Vanellope. I'm not sure if you have to welcome Ariel. That will add a little bit more time to it, though. So it's going to be close, I think. Like I said, I only had 18 hours of a break before the next chapter started, so we'll see.
Yeah, you were pushing the envelope for sure. I think it's hard to say. I think that there's 2 ways to look at this question. The question from people who are newer to the game, or for people who don't have the ability or have not purchased any premium content, people who don't have a lot of the other story characters that are earning extra event currency. Those people probably are having a much harder time, because I know I did when I first started events, right? Your resources are low. You're really pushing hard. You're exhausted. This is a long event, very, very long event. And the reality is that you're probably not going to get all the content without paying a little bit if you're that early on in the game. It's just not designed for people who've been playing a month to really be able to go through and get. At least that's just my opinion. What
No,
do
I
you
agree.
what,
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was just saying I agree that for a new player,
Right.
It is really.
Yeah. So you have that. I think that the for a newer player, you should be happy and grateful that you're getting a bunch of characters, that you're going to get Ralph, that you're going to get, even up to Shank, and maybe a comfy costume or 2. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that you're getting from this. It's not what didn't I get or what can't I complete. It's look at all the cool stuff you did get. And did you have fun? And if the only way you're going to have fun is to complete every event, then either pony up or stop playing, because it's just that's just how it is at the beginning. I think that for people that are more seasoned, that have more characters, that have more side quests, that have gems to be able to purchase premium content or whatnot, I think that it's going to be much easier to get through the event in the 10 days time. I feel like I'm well on pace to complete the content. I do believe that you don't need to purchase the premium content. Like, I think you could not get Felix and not get Calhoun and still complete this event. I truly believe it. But you would still need to have other people that could support you, and other collectors, and people who you get EC, etc. But it's going to be a lot harder. Felix is a monster, and Calhoun is a monster with getting all of the Wi-Fi. Calhoun gets all those Wi-Fi things, and she finishes them instantly. Felix does 2-hour tests to get comfy costume fabric, and all the other stuff. So, there's two ways of looking at it. So for people that are seasoned, I think it's just the right amount of content in 10 days time, because you want to push people to the end, and you want people to be excited and engaged, and you just don't want people to breeze through stuff, and you have to cater to both audiences. And the only way to do that is to make premium content available, and to also make sure that there's easily accessible content for the people that can't get that far. And so I think that they did a great job with this in making that balance, because it's a very hard to balance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think that I was just going to say, without the premium characters or buildings, you don't have a lot of wiggle room for if you end up with bad drops, like a lot of us came into with leveling up. Yes, and you don't have those quicker tasks to collect tokens, so you're definitely pressed for time. So if you are in that situation, you have to really stay on your timers, and that was something I think we talked about as advice in the beginning of the event.
Yep. If you're gonna have less people, you just need to be on top of it. Like, if you really I want to complete, like, if you're like, why can't I complete this event? Blah 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 blah, and then you can't go back and say that you have your timers you don't have your timer set. You don't have notifications on your phone set to let you know every time that a parade is done, every time that a set of tasks is done every 2 hours. Like, if you're not doing that, then you shouldn't be complaining. Okay, if you're legitimately doing all that stuff and you're still not, getting anywhere, then sure, you have a right to complain. But again, there's a delicate balance. I think that they did a fantastic job with the balancing and the pacing for this game, for both newer players and for experienced players. So that's all we're going to say about that. Enough of that. That was a long-winded answer to a community question. Again, if you have any comments on that, we'd love to hear it, because any feedback, I think, is valuable. So let us know. Okay. Next question is from Aiden. Aiden is in the chat here. Aiden is excited because he's getting an iPhone 8. Awesome.
Nice.
But he was playing Disney Magic Kingdoms on an Android device. He wants to know how to switch his game between Android and iPhone. Here's the answer for you. You can't.
Yeah.
There is no supported way to transfer data from iOS to Android or from Android to iOS. It is not possible.
Wait, even with Facebook, you can't? Now, I know Windows doesn't transfer over, but I thought you could transfer Android.
I was under the impression you can't. I know that I think Windows and Windows Phone you can, but I don't even think Windows and iOS you can transfer, or I don't think you can take your iPhone and then go play on your computer. I don't think that transfers.
No, I know for sure Windows users can't transfer theirs over. But I thought if you connect it through Facebook, Android, and iOS, but I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so. My answer is, from everything that I've read, you can't do it. If there is anyone out there in the chat or anyone listening that knows how to do this, let us know. I will post it on Twitter for Aiden, so that they know. But that is it. Okay. And let's see. Sorry, I lost track. Okay, it's from Amanda. What is the most efficient way to spend your gems and why? Why don't you take that one, AGeekyChick?
Oh, I was gonna read the FAQ real quick though.
Oh, go ahead.
For
please.
that last one, it goes, if you want to transfer your game progress to another device, you just need to log into the game under the same Facebook Game Center Google Play Games account that you used on your previous device. Please note that Disney Magic Kingdom supports progress transfer only between the following operating systems: iOS and iOS, Android and Android, iOS and Android, Android and iOS, Windows and Windows.
Oh.
So Android and iOS can go to each other, but Windows only stays on like Windows.
Well,
so
fantastic.
You would have to connect to Facebook because that's the only common, like, because you can't get Google Play on your iOS or Game Center on your Android. So it'd have to be, you have to connect to your Facebook and then it should work. But
well, awesome. That's fantastic. So connect through Facebook. I know that I had a hard time being in Game Center and Facebook at the same time. So I definitely think that figure it out and try to work on it. Make sure that you have your stuff backed up somehow. But yes, go ahead and do it. Megan says, can I get my progress back from iPhone 6s Plus to iPhone 8 Plus? What I do know about iOS is that, with multiple devices, because like I switch between my iPad and my iPhone, the way that you want to handle that is that when you're going to leave one device in iOS, you want to close it out on the device and then reopen it. And when you reopen it, it will say, welcome to Game Center, Steve Squirrel, or whatever your name is. And once it says that, that's when it saves. So it saves the game when you open it brand new. Not when if it's already open and you go back to check it, but you have to close it out, reopen it. Once it does that, you can then go to another iOS device, so another iPhone, that has the same account. So you have to have the same Game Center. And when you log in and you open up Disney Magic Kingdoms, then it will say, do you want to use local data? Which in this case, if you never played it before, will be blank. Or do you want to use this data? And it should say, cloud, Game Center cloud, and it would have like 5 minutes ago or whenever the time of your last save was. So that's the way you do it. You don't need to have Facebook for iOS to iOS. You can do that through Game Center. And that's the absolutely easiest way to do it. So that is my advice. All right. Okay, so the other question we had for you, AGeekyChick, was most efficient way to spend your gems and why?
I always say the most inefficient way is to speed up timers, especially when you're just working on regular storyline when you're not in a rush on a time limited event. I think that's like the biggest way to waste your gems. The most efficient, I think, would be the things that you can buy, like a slot, because you know that like a slot on your opening your chest so you can store more. I think a parade slot is a good way. And I always get the parades because those can help you get more gems. And then really, concessions, that would be last because that's just like, decoration. I mean, you get currency for them, but I would say characters and a gem attraction. So, and then of course you guys know from on the podcast about is it worth it or not. You can decide which gem character is more important to you. But so I would say the chess slots, parade slots, gem characters, and attractions. Am I missing anything?
No.
That you can even spend gems on. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good answer. All right, so that just about does it for this week. We will stick around after the podcast is over into the YouTube chat and have a little bit more chat with you guys and answer some more questions for you. But we're going to wrap up the show here. So one last thing, there's some other things around the kingdom to talk about. So as we talked about earlier, Beauty and the Beast Legendary Chests became available at the start of Chapter 4 for the usual price of 60 gems or $9.99 for a 6-pack with the guaranteed Epic or Legendary. And they will be available until the end of the event. As well, Frozen and Aladdin chests are still available for the usual price and will also be available through the end of the event. The Ariel bundle is back. This was originally offered at the end of the Little Mermaid event, and it is $9.99 for Ariel plus the Starfish hairband stand. So this is coming back to probably help with welcoming Ariel. If you don't already have her, obviously. 2 other rumors / screenshots that were provided in a forum will be, and we will see if they are true, is that the option to purchase Vanellope plus the Pancake Milkshake stand bundle will be available for somewhere between $8.99 and $9.99. I'm assuming $9.99 for that bundle. And then after that, of course, will be Ariel's Comfy Costume plus 40 Gems bundle, probably for $9.99 as well. So if you are in a crunch and it doesn't work out for you and you don't mind dropping the money, it looks like you will be able to have a way at least to purchase the rest of the content if necessary. The Giant Cherry Stand, Burnt Pie Stand, and Popcorn Cart are available for 60 gems each. The Pizza Stand is now gone and was replaced by the Giant Cherry Stand. I am assuming that the Popcorn Cart will soon be gone and will be replaced by Pancake Milkshake Stand. I cannot wait for that stand. I'll probably buy 2. And finally, the Bigger and Better event currency bundle is available now. It gets bigger and better every chapter. It is now 250 gems plus 15,000 event currency for $9.99. So you can purchase that bundle as well. We have 1 new 5-star rating, so thank you so much to whoever gave us that rating. However, we do not have any new 5-star reviews. So please get those in so we can read them out on the show. So super shout outs today to all of my, what I call production assistants out there who always provide screenshots and stuff when I'm trying to figure out stuff and get ready for the show notes. So thank you to all the people out there who are always supporting me and supporting the show by doing a little bit of extra research to help me out when I'm crunched for time. That's my shout out for this week. AGeekyChick, any shout outs for you?
Thank you to the live audience for showing up and not just having us here talking to ourselves. I appreciate each and every one of you guys.
Awesome. All right. So thank you so much, AGeekyChick, for having me on your channel today and doing this awesome live podcast. Next week's show, for the first time joining the show, we have Jason Headley, internet blogger extraordinaire, who will show up to help wrap up the Wreck-It Ralph event. If you haven't checked out Jason Headley's awesome column, the link to his page will be in the show notes. And I'm really super excited to have him on the show next week. If you'd like to be more involved with the show, you can follow us on Twitter at @ATKPodcast and like our Facebook page at facebook.com/ATKPodcast. Here you'll find out before anyone else about any breaking news that we hear, information on contests and giveaways, when new shows are published, and of course, my ramblings and photos from my day-to-day playing. Also, you can write into the show. Our email address is aroundthekingdompodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think about the show, what's working, what's terrible, or any other topic you want to write in about. Or even just write in if you want to say hi. If you want to help support the show, please head on over to iTunes, subscribe to the podcast, and leave us a 5-star review. Doing this is quick and easy. It costs you nothing, but helps us greatly to be seen by other people so they can enjoy the show also. All 5-star reviews will be read at the end of each episode. Listening to the show is all we can really ask for, but if you do want to help support us in another way, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/aroundthekingdom. Running a podcast does have some overhead, so this is a great way to show your support for about $1 an episode. The page was just put up and we'll be adding some cool rewards to the tiers of support, but for now you'll just get a special shout out at the beginning of each episode. Again, that's patreon.com/aroundthekingdom. The link will be in the show notes. Thank you so much for joining us this week. I am Steve Squirrel. For myself and AGeekyChick, we hope that you have a great night, and we will see you around the kingdom next week. All right.
Yay!
That's a wrap. Thank you,
fun.
YouTube chat.
So we got some questions. Project says, would you like to see trade and why? I guess it's like trading items. I don't know. Would people trade? I would, because I have like 4 Fix-It-Felix arcades, but at the same time, with being able to trade items in from Merlin, and there's like still, some expensive things in Merlin's shop that I haven't even gotten, that I think that people would be reluctant to do a trade, because a lot of people, like, the only thing people would probably trade is decorations, but there's more value because they don't put them out, but there's more value in sending them off to Merlin.
I think that trading is a slippery slope. I think gifting is one thing, when we talked about like the stuff we talked about on the show, but I think that trading could be a slippery slope. Like I think like, for example, trading during an event items, like our event, like either concessions or decorations, like during an event might be cool, but like kind of the thing where like there are certain things that like I feel like for example the Wreck-It Ralph trophy, for example, that you earned by doing getting on a leaderboard, right? I feel like those should be like non-tradable items. Like those are things that you should like. That I don't know. I feel like that should be like kind of like a non-tradable item. And then also, like, what other things are you talking about? Like, what other things are there to really trade? You can't trade characters. You can't trade outfits. So really, it would be like concessions, right? Concessions, decorations. I guess so. I mean, it would be kind of cool to like get older concessions, like because, like, for example, I just opened up the legendary Beauty and the Beast chests, and I have like 8, bakery concessions now, and I don't need 8 bakery concessions. So I think it would be cool to like, if like AGeekyChick didn't get any, for example, and she was like, oh, well, I still have this old Christmas decoration from last year, and I was like, oh, cool, I don't have that. That would be kind of cool. But I also the issue with that, which is why I don't think that it will ever happen, is that then there becomes a secondhand market for items.
That's exactly what I was going to start saying.
Yeah,
I was thinking in my head.
So people could start selling things. So you could go on eBay or wherever it is, and I could sell 20 concession stands, for whatever I want, and then we'd become friends, and then we'd log on, and then Gameloft would have to start dealing with tickets from people who got ripped off, because come on, YouTube chat, I know someone out there would rip somebody off, right?
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. It just opens up corrupt, because I'm like, now you have this different, currency value system, equal trades, and I didn't mean to trade that. And like you said, now you're paying cash to somebody else, because somebody would rather, like, if I just want a concession stand, maybe I don't want to go through legendary chests over and over again, only to not get it. And so then you paying, and I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of headaches. And I don't think that they want to open anything up to the secondhand market. So I think like that gifting would be a much more realistic a reality, much more of a reality than trading, because gifting is something they can control.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Brian, I don't think we're going to get a Christmas event. I don't know if you guys seen on the Reddit, they leaked. It looks like we will get the sapphire chest. Is that what it is? But I don't think they're going to make a separate event. Maybe there might be a mini event for the holiday costumes, maybe. But I don't think they're going to make a whole nother event. Did they say they were?
I didn't see that there was going to be any sort of event. Again, I only saw that the sapphire chests was leaked, but there won't be even really be time. I mean, this wraps up on the 20th, so I don't really see them doing anything. I could see them maybe putting a patch out to change after Wreck-It Ralph is over, just to change the scenery, maybe to put the Christmas scenery up. Because they have that from last year, right? Like, didn't they put snow on the ground or on the trees and stuff, right?
Yeah, I believe they've done it 2 years in a row where they've frozen over the park. So hopefully we get that. I missed that.
Yeah, so I think that's something I miss, because I haven't experienced it. So I think that's definitely, like, I could definitely see them, because this wraps up on, I think, the 20th is the last day, or even the 21st. So I could see them just having a patch ready to go live on the 22nd, and that would just change the scenery. That's the only thing that I think they'll change.
Yeah. They should have a shop. Or you mean like an in-game shop, or like a online shop to buy like merchandise and things? How would the ice work with Flounder, Ariel, Mermaid? Yeah, I don't know. That's what a lot of people were wondering once they added water characters. But they only freeze that main part, but they do swim in that main part. So I don't know. Maybe it just wouldn't be frozen where they're at.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be cool though, even if they don't freeze the lakes and they just add, some snow to the trees and that kind of stuff. I think that would be cool to do, and just not ignore it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there will be any more storyline updates in DMK? Yes. Oh, hello, Elliot. How are you? Yeah, most definitely. We'll get more storyline. That maybe storyline is even next, because this was like we've done. What was this event? What was the last storyline we got?
Pirates.
Tia and all of them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Pirates.
So it's time. We'll probably get more storyline soon. Shadow says they missed the podcast.
Shadow, go to iTunes and search for Around the Kingdom, and you will find us. Podcast will be up tonight.
Oh, tonight.
Yep.
What do you think will happen?
I always get the podcast up that night. I just don't usually start putting it on social media till the next day. But if you're a subscriber, you will get it that evening.
Well, Stacy said their cousin made it to yes, and they've only been playing for 2 weeks. Oh, good night, Heather. And that's pretty good.
Good night, Heather. Thanks. Yeah, that's really good. And you're getting a lot of characters. So
maybe they'll add the Beauty and the Beast Christmas costumes with Belle's red cloak. Oh, that would be so cute. Maybe not this year, though. Maybe next year. I don't see them doing that this year. Unless it's just a buy.
What are the lunar costumes used for? Is that the Chinese New Year?
I believe so, yeah.
What time of year is that?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But yeah, I think that's when we had it for the Chinese New Year. Let's see when that's going to be. February. Tuesday, February 5th.
So that's when we can expect the Mulan chests to come out.
I like how they switch off between a storyline event. Yeah. We'll probably have another tower challenge too. And then what's coming up as far as movies? Mary Poppins, but I don't know if they're going to do anything for that.
Well, this year is going to be flipping insane with all the live stuff coming out. I mean, we're going to have live Lion King this year. We're going to have live Aladdin, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, and then is live Little Mermaid also with everyone's favorite Ariana Grande.
Is that really who was cast as that?
Yep, Ariana Grande is Ariel.
What? I didn't know that was real.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
She actually had a big interview. She's going to be changing her last name. She feels like, she's grown up as a person, so they're going to call her Ariana Venti.
I don't know.
Did you get that bad joke? It was a Starbucks joke. From Grande to Venti. I'm sorry.
I'm still in shock that I didn't know that was official.
As far as I know.
Was it the Little Mermaid casting?
Zendaya is reported to be Ariel and not Ariana.
I saw those rumors for Zendaya.
I just saw the trailer though. I just thought I saw the official trailer.
There's no trailer for that out yet. You might have saw a fan-made trailer.
Did I? Little Mermaid.
I think it was a rumor for Zendaya.
This is. Oh no! This is the twisted dark Little Mermaid that I'm watching. I sure hope it's not Ariana Grande. I thought it was though.
I don't think it is. I don't see anything yet. Ariana Grande, Little Mermaid. Nothing came up that was official. Just these weird, fake-looking trailers.
Well, it got me then.
Yeah, this is a fan-made trailer with her. But it looked real.
It looked real. I was watching it with my daughter, and we thought we were watching the real thing. She doesn't know who Ariana Grande is. It's not like she'll be disappointed, but
it's Dumbo live action. That's the one we were forgetting.
Dumbo, yep.
Die-hard Ariana fan here. She's not playing Ariel. Oh. Yeah. I don't know if it would.
Is that Rainy Days? Is Rainy Days? He knows all things. Rainy Days knows all things Ariana Grande.
No. I don't know.
Why?
No, I don't think so. I don't think.
What's up with this person talking about Sebastian's microphone could go missing? You really are stuck on this, huh?
For what?
How the book went missing for the Beauty and the Beast storyline. Said Sebastian's microphone could go missing for the other storyline. Oh, M. McClure, you're just so funny.
Oh, did you guys see the thank you next? And it was Cookie Monster. And because, Ariana Grande, she tweeted thank you next because that's her song. And Cookie Monster was like me when eating cookies. He just wants more cookies. I was like, that just made my day. I love Cookie Monster. We should have shirts to support the channel or game. Yeah, the thing is, though, I don't know what kind of shirt I would make. And I'm guessing with them, maybe it's a licensing thing on why they don't have shirts for Disney, maybe. Maybe they don't have licensing to make merchandise. I mean, you could just buy a Mickey shirt and tell yourself it's Disney Magic Kingdoms, though.
DMK is not licensed, is it?
The initials? Probably no, because it can mean anything, right?
Yeah.
What do you think will happen in Ariel's secondary storyline? I don't know.
Sebastian's going to lose his microphone.
I haven't even I skipped through the entire Beauty and the Beast storyline.
It's fun.
Yeah, I know, but usually I'm always like out and about and just trying to get the tasks done so I can move on and put my phone away. So I just skipped through most of it. So I don't even know what's happening. I still have one more ear hat for Belle. Do I need to have welcomed her already? No, I think you're fine, Brooke. Was Gaston needed? Did we need Gaston? I don't think so.
He's not required for this event. Nope.
Do you think there will be a Mary Poppins storyline? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Maybe I don't even know if they'll add her.
Nope. I don't think it's. I don't know. I could be wrong. I just don't see it happening.
Me either. I believe the characters we have are Pirates of the Caribbean. Everyone else is a cartoon, like animated. Right?
Well, I mean, but you have a whole bunch of live stuff coming out. So you can bet your ass that there's going to be a huge Lion King event around the release of the Lion King movie.
But they already have everybody, so I don't know what they would do.
They could, I don't know, add costumes. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll do something. Maybe like a tower challenge like they did for Winnie the Pooh. They just added Christopher Robin.
But I feel like this is
what we got Winnie Pooh's honey costume.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like bigger than that. For some reason, I feel like it's just,
like it is, but I just don't know what they could do with us already having everybody.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I hope they celebrate it. That would be fun. Nah, and besides just like legendary chess coming back, you know.
Yeah.
That would be depressing. They could add Mufasa. Oh yeah, Mufasa.
Oh yes, Mufasa.
Mm-hmm.
And all three.
Like I could see that as a tower challenge.
And all three hyenas.
Oh yeah, the hyenas.
Any of the hyenas in there? And they don't have. Oh no, they do. Never mind. The hyenas. Yeah, those would be the three. The three hyenas.
And then they'd have to go back and kind of do like they did with the princesses, allow people to be able to re-welcome past Lion King characters in the middle of the event, kind of like how they did with Ariel, Belle, and everybody. And I don't know, no one's really talking about it. I think that's pretty awesome how people were able to earn the princesses.
I think it's amazing. I think it was so awesome that they did that. But
yeah,
rather than say, "Oh well, thanks Disney Magic Kingdoms for letting us do that," people are more like, "It's taking me so long to get them," you know.
Yeah. I just reached Welcome Baloo, and I have a 293 consecutive and total streak. Nice, congrats on Baloo. Yay, y'all are still live. I'm finishing up work. I was excited to see y'all. Hi, Ryan. But we're almost done. But I put the links to the podcast so you guys can listen to it. It'll be up tonight. It'll be something to listen to tomorrow.
It's already live on SoundCloud if you are an Android person. And I'm getting it on iTunes now. I'm not paying attention to any YouTubers right this second.
This event has been a joke. Shadow! I'm really sad I'm not going to get Vanellope. Oh, I think Shadow's sad. We're not doing well. Any last questions, cries for help? Any last things you guys want to ask for the event? Because the next podcast will be too late. Be one day left. So if you guys want to get any last questions, but you guys can always, I got the Around the Kingdom podcast Twitter and Facebook in the description. If you don't see it, I might have to refresh. And I'll still be making videos.
Of course you'll be making videos. That's what you do best. Well, you do that best, and then the second best, right under that is awesome co-host to podcast.
It's 3:45 a.m. here, and I need to be up at 9, but I stayed up for you, Geeky. Oh, thank you, Megan. I appreciate that. Land. You know, I would say right now, though, like if you're trying to welcome characters and they're getting expensive and you're pressed for money, like magic, I would not spend the bulk of my magic on land if you're still trying to welcome characters, because you can put stuff away that you're not using and it won't be the end of the world if you have to put them away. If you have to put, like, what is it, the Omnidroid City? If you have that from the Incredibles, you just put that away because that's just huge and an eyesore. But there's a lot of things that you could just put away, especially attractions that had to do with events. They won't affect your main story that much. And this is if you're low on magic. I wouldn't go crazy over land. And because even when you get all the land, the only way you fit everything in is by squishing everything together. So
yeah, no, I completely agree. I would, especially right now, focus on characters over land. I had the plot of 750,000 land to open, and I didn't feel comfortable unlocking it until I had almost 1.4 million. Like I wanted to have that much of a buffer, because I actually just, you know what I forgot to mention in my week in the kingdom, because I literally just happened right before the show, was that I welcomed Classic Pete. So my classic collection's done. My Steamboat was working overtime. And but it was 150,000 magic to welcome him. So it's not cheap. So, you know, he was 150, and it was 100 for Minnie. So that's 250,000 magic right there. Just, you know, so I'd rather have those than the plot of land right now.
Missy says tips to get characters like Belle. Everybody will tell you to keep your happiness up, but I always say this, like, that is not a 100% guarantee, because there's still, like, I don't know what the chances are, but say you have a 50% chance to get it. There's still that other 50% chance that you won't. And the way you can roll the dice, you could always end up in that chance that you won't get that token drop. But keeping your happiness increases your chances, so they say. But like I said, if you have bad luck, you just hit bad luck. And you just have to keep sending them. The only thing that you can actually have control over is your happiness. And as soon as the timer is logging in, hitting collect. If you get it, you don't, but sending them right back out.
Thoughts on DMK adding movies that Disney doesn't tend to promote as much? Hunchback of Notre Dame is one of my favorites, but I feel like it would never show up. Well, I mean, Sword in the Stone. You know, as far as that goes, that was a smaller thing. I mean, you know, Black Cauldron would be amazing. So there are older things that I think could make appearances.
People said there's that, what is it? Emperor's there's somebody say there's a hint to some movie, some little.
Oh, the Emperor's New Throne or whatever, right? Or New Clothes or something. I don't think I've ever seen it, to be honest, which is sad. But yeah, there's supposedly his building is one of the buildings there.
I would like to see Princess and the Frog. That's the next one I want to see. And then I wouldn't mind seeing what is it? Inside Out characters, because I love them. They're so cute. Yeah, Emperor's New Groove. That's what it was.
Emperor's New Groove. That's right. See, there was a whole like chunk of my life that I didn't watch Disney movies, and I missed a bunch of things. But now that I have children, I have a lot more.
Yeah.
a lot more. We're missing 5 princesses. So who are the princesses? Moana. Well, Moana's not really technically a princess. She's the daughter of the chief.
But do they classify her as one? I know
they classify her as one, but she's not. That's like the whole funny part in the movie is when Maui says to her, you princess, she, and she's like, I'm not a princess. I'm the daughter of a chief. And he's like, same thing. If you have an animal sidekick, you're a princess, but she's technically not a princess.
Shadow says it's Jessica Rabbit Disney. You know what? I did not know until somebody said, but Disney does own Roger Rabbit. But when it came out, it didn't come out like under Disney. It came out under something else. But I don't think we would see Jessica in Disney Magic Kingdoms.
Yeah. So Moana, Pocahontas, Mulan. Yes, they're princesses, as you can tell by who was all sitting on the comfy couches in the movie, and Tiana, of course, princess, and I think a cool Mardi Gras Princess and the Frog thing would be a lot of fun, and then Merida from Brave. I'd love to see a Brave event also. I really loved Brave. I thought that was a great movie. I really though my number one is absolutely Moana. That I'd like to see. Probably then Merida, then Tiana, then Mulan, and then Pocahontas could bite it.
I feel like writing out the princesses on purpose.
Yeah, they need to. You don't want to run out of princesses.
No, because once you have all the princesses, for a lot of people, that'll feel like game over, once that's complete, I think. And I think that would hold some people in waiting, for their favorite princess to show up. Like Ariel, so many people were waiting for this one.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I was still relatively new to the game when they first announced it. So it wasn't, it was exciting for me, but it wasn't like, all these people who have been playing for all these years were anticipating it.
Yeah. Mulan was an event. Yeah, it was like a 1-week event. It was back, I guess, when they were trying new things. Well, they're still trying new things, but
Amy Adams refused. Yeah, from Enchanted. What was that? What was that movie with Amy Adams? Enchanted. Was that the name of it?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, what was the name? It's really late. I don't know.
Oh yeah, because you're an hour ahead, so it's 11 or almost 11.
What was it? Yeah, Enchanted. Thank you. Oh, Xavier, you're in the house. What's up, buddy? Hope you're feeling better. Hey, M. McClure has copy and pasted. Kion could be the second person to join DMK about 20 times. So M. McClure, once again, you got my attention by copying and pasting. Congratulations.
Kion is. What is Kion?
Is Simba's son.
Oh, that.
He's the leader of the Lion Guard.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun. There's so much they can do, and so much to see. So I'm excited. I think that they're doing a great job.
My bad. I just checked something. We're missing these princesses. There are 4 of them here. They are Tiana, Moana, Pocahontas,
Merida. Cars and Nemo. Yep. I
thought Cars were in here.
Yep. And I think when you open up Pixar, into the thread, there's just so much awesome stuff. I think that the characters from God, I'm just really, really getting tired now. What's the one where Inside Out? I think that having sadness and happiness and all those characters would actually be fun from Inside Out. And who else from Pixar? I think there's lots of different choices.
I think so.
Hercules. Ugh. Yeah, there's so many. I mean, they literally could be 1,001 Dalmatians, or maybe just 101. But that's a lot of characters. How many rows would that 101 Dalmatians take up? What do you think? 25? They probably fit 5 Dalmatians on a row.
What?
I said, how many Dalmatians do you think they could fit on a row? How many rows would it take to get to the 101 Dalmatians?
Oh my gosh, they wouldn't even do that. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, Up would be fun. Bug's Life. 30 rows. All right, well listen, I gotta go.
It's like do that now. I don't know what's going on.
It's 11 o'clock.
I didn't do that.
It's 11 o'clock Eastern. I gotta go. I have a job interview at 9 a.m. in the morning because I hate my job. So I want to.
Congrats.
I want to get a new job. Yeah, it's actually the 3rd round. So if I, pretty much as long as I don't F this up, it should be mine. Okay. So fingers crossed.
Yes. All righty. Well, we'll say goodbye to everybody.
All right, M. McClure, you're my fan. You're my number one. I like you, M. McClure. You're persistent. That's what I like. Persistence. Good night to Elliot. I know you. And good night to all the other people that stayed up and listened. I appreciate it. Please follow my show. AGeekyChick is on as a regular guest, and we will continue to have her on. And yeah, just check out my show, subscribe. I don't even care if you listen, just download it. But yeah, have a good night, everyone. Thank you. Good night, AGeekyChick.
Good night. Bye.
Thanks.
All right, everybody. I'm on my way to bed too. Unfortunately, I'm tired. I don't even know. I'm gonna try to at least record the rest of my video for Belle, but I'm really tired, so I don't know if I'm gonna get it out. But I did have a lot of fun hanging out, and sometimes don't get the Belle video out today. It will be up tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing things like this. I was gonna put on the other channel, but I'm not. I'm gonna put it on this channel. And thank you, everybody.